Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff, and I'm here today to start Christmas in July with all of you. I shared some sneak peeks from our new holiday catalog when I got my new order in the mail, and I wanted to start making some projects that you can make right now. I know a lot of people like to work on their Christmas cards really early. I know some people were working on them during quarantine. But I wanted to start sharing some ideas that you can make now, and I will also be mixing in some sneak peeks here over the next few days and weeks of some of those really neat new products as well. But this right here is one of my favorite sets, probably that Stampin' Up! Has ever had. Our Perfectly Plaid stamp set and the coordinating punch that goes with it. If you search on my blog, scrappingstampingandstuff.com, for this stamp set, you will find quite a lot of projects that I made last year with it. So we are going to make this really pretty card today, and let's get started and I'll show you how to do it. So what you need is a card base. This is our Just Jade cardstock, a new favorite color, measures 5.5 by 8.5. I folded it in half. This is one of our Flowers for Every Season designer prints. Both of these prints are from that pack. It measures 4 by 5.25. We need a scrap of Just Jade. We need a piece of Just Jade cut out with one of our Tasteful Labels dies. This is a really nice set. Has stitching on some of them. Just a really nice label set. And then I embossed it with our Tasteful Textile embossing folder, I believe is the name. And so that's all ready. And then we need a little piece of Crumb Cake that measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches. So first we will do our stamping. And the stamps are coming from this Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I just love this one. I like the trees that are in it. You could use these for Christmas, of course, but you could use them all through winter time. And the greetings are just nice basic ones. So I have some Just Jade ink. I'm going to ink up this plaid tree stamp and stamp it on the Just Jade. And then I want to ink up the greeting, which says, "May this special season be wrapped in love and joy." And stamp that right here in the center of that crumb cake piece. Now, this is another favorite product. This is one of our new punches in the new catalog, the Lovely Labels Pick Punch, I believe it is called. So this is really neat because it works with 1/2 inch strips of paper, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch strips. So I'm just going to slide the end in there, punch that, flip it around, punch the other end. So our little label is prepared. We need to punch out this tree. This is a really nice punch. You can use it with the stamp set, but if you want to just use it with designer paper, you can make some really pretty trees just punching it straight out of the designer paper as well. Now, let's bring all these pieces back in and look at them. So when I was making this card right here, I was looking at it and I just thought, like, nothing stood out from the other pieces. It just all sort of blended together. And I want you to look at the difference in this. I sponged the edges of all of these pieces with some Crumb Cake. These have not been done yet, except for the card base. I already did the card base. And it just adds, I feel like it adds a lot to the card. Kind of makes all the pieces pop apart from each other, adds a little bit of depth, a little bit of interest. So I'm going to grab some Crumb Cake ink and a sponge, and we are going to sponge the rest of these pieces. So I'll start with this big one. I pick up the ink. I like to blot off a little on some scrap paper to make sure I don't get too much on my project all at once. Once you get a feel for it, you may not need to blot off that excess, but especially to get started, I really suggest that you do that. I like an aged look on cards, so that's what we are doing today here. So you're going to have to let me know what you think about this Christmas in July. You can give me a shout out and be like, stop talking about Christmas. It's 6 months away. Or you can say that you like some ideas to get you started thinking about your holiday projects. You let me know. But here for a few days, we will do a few things for Christmas. And then I'll lay off. If you're not into this yet, don't believe me, we will not be doing solid Christmas from now until then. So sponge a little bit out around here. This embossing folder I just love. When you emboss it and then add a little crumb cake around the edge, it looks like an old piece of linen or some kind of textile. The tree, I'll just add a little bit like this. And same thing with this tag. Okay, I think that is all of our pieces now. So now we need to start assembling. And we're going to add in some of our faux linen trim. So first, we need to wrap this piece around our designer paper piece before we attach the designer paper onto the card base. So to do that, I'll grab my glue dots. Glue dots are your friend when it comes to putting ribbons and bows on your projects. Put one of those on each end. Now I'm going to lay this out here about where I want it on my paper. Lift up and just fold that around the back and secure that glue dot to the back side. Okay, now that that's done, I'll use, this is our Seal Plus, which I am loving this new adhesive. It is a huge improvement over Snail. If you ever use Snail, I used it, but I didn't love it. But I really like this Seal Plus. Now I'll put this tag on. Right there. Both the tag and the tree I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. And I just got my black ones out here lately. If you didn't know, we do have black dimensionals in the catalog. And I just discovered this the other day, but for whatever reason, the black ones are actually stickier than the white ones. It's kind of a mystery to me. I don't know why. But they're kind of nice. They don't pop. If your white ones ever stick out kind of in the shadows underneath, these black ones will not do that. They'll just kind of hide back there in those shadows. So we'll add that. Now all we need is our bow. Just the other day I made a video on 10 tips for how to tie a perfect bow every time. And if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. I shared some really cool tips for how to do what I'm doing right now. How to tie a bow on your fingers. And there's another trick for using a fork or a comb. But I just shared all kinds of really cool tips that will help you learn how to tie that perfect bow. Okay, so we got this tied. I need another glue dot. Stick that right on the back and place it right here. Then I want to trim those ends. And we will call that complete. So there are a couple of pretty cards you can make using our Flowers for Every Season designer paper, that perfectly plaid stamp set, and the coordinating tree punch. Some of my absolute favorites. So thanks for joining, and stop back later this week for some more Christmas projects, and keep on visiting for lots of other ideas and inspiration. Have a great day, everyone.